Shalom. All praises to the Most High Yahweh. Give me a second. Shalom. Welcome. Thank you for being here. It is good to be here, brothers and sisters. We are going to talk about the worship of the Egyptian and Remeses' fate. Show you the Most High always check with you. Shalom, brethren. Shalom. Let us settle down. I haven't done a sound test yet because I'm not wearing the headphone. So the headphone is all broken. So they were supposed to send me the new one today, and it's not in the way they say it's Wednesday. It's gonna get there Wednesday, which is 2 days from now. So I turned on the studio monitors. So the studio monitors are on right now. You can hear everything from them. Just in case let me get a sound check. Can everybody hear me and see me well? Give me a 1 if you can see me and hear me very well. All right, that is good. Oh, that is good. Mm-hmm. That's better. Brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike, welcome. Thank you for being here. Shalom. We're about to get started. Today is going to be a very long chapter. So, before we started, we want to remind everyone that we are here. We are worshiping the Lord, Father Himself, and Him only. We do not worship anybody else than the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The horrible and terrible God, the God that is doing all those things out there. Now, today is the 18th, if I'm not, nope, the 19th. Today is the 19th, Monday, April the 19th, 2021. And next, the Thursday 23rd, the 22nd, we are going to fast and pray. If you wish to, you can join us if you wish. Wednesday will be the day that quote unquote Russia gave NATO and the United States to leave Ukraine or Crimea or whatever they want to call it. Brothers, you see, the tones of the Gentiles change. You see, the tones of the whole world is changing. People don't talk the same way they used to talk. They don't talk like that anymore. You see, there is a shifting today. As we speak, we see how the Most High is moving. We see how people are acting like everything is back to normal when it is not. Understand this, brothers. In the book of Matthew, it is said, Yahushua did say, as in the days of Noah, and shall it be when the coming the Son of Man. So, what's gonna the reason why we know this thing is very very close? Well, the tribulation already started, but what they are doing, brethren, they are giving the illusion that everything is doing perfectly normal. And as you saw in my last video, that France, they are going to open the touristic places. They're going to open tourism, but as long as you get the job and you get you get tested, either you get the job or you get tested frequently. So what that means is they try to give the illusion that everything is not only back to normal, but everything is better. Okay, there is a significant shift, brethren. If you don't see the shift, if you cannot see the shift, if you said everything is the same as it was, I don't know what to tell you. All right, this thing is echoing in the back. All right. If you're saying this shift, you cannot see it or it never happened, I do not know what to tell you. So what's gonna happen, brethren? They are going to try to get things back to normal, and they are going to open everything back the way they were. But that's- when you got all those people piled up on top of each other, this thing's going to get a hell of a lot more worse. It's gonna get a lot more worse, and that's when you know things are going to really get down, because now they notice now in the northern states, the Midwest, like Minnesota, and any state that is in the Midwest, upper North Midwest. So it's not doing too good. It's not doing too good. India reported over 275,000 cases in one day. Brethren, this is not good. Oh yeah, well, those jobs, they are threatening people, hey, get the jobs or be fired and stuff like that, because they want you to go back there. They're not providing enough protection for you, which they cannot. And all those people care about is money. Money, 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 making more money. Money, 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 always. Always and always will be. They always care about money. And what they are doing now, it's a form of intimidation. That's why they say, oh, if you don't, you cannot sue us for this vax, for this job. Although a lot of people, one dude was paralyzed. I saw this guy, he was paralyzed right after he get the J&J, and he got paralyzed. And people was like, oh, they say, no, 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 that has nothing to do with it. It was just randomly a healthy man just wake up one day, he walk out of the door, and then he just fell and he couldn't walk anymore. Nothing has to do with the vax. Hank Aaron, Frank Aaron, or Hank Aaron, a bunch of other people, that sister at the church, the other brother at that church. It's everybody that take that thing. Something bad happened to them. That doctor in Florida. Oh no no no, uh that's something else. It's not the facts, but those people were, nothing happened to them. They were healthy people. Oh yeah, well, they had diabetes and stuff like that. What? It- that that guy, that doctor, he didn't have any pre-existing condition, and a lot of things happen. So that's why you cannot sue them, because those guys, that's how they work. They work with the government. They work with all sort of things to keep them away from any lawsuit or anything like that. Yeah, so that thing is not working. And as they seeing, brothers, they are losing their grip on reality. That's what you're experiencing here. Brethren, the only people that are not bad hish crazy about this, those people that are watching here. Everybody else are losing their freaking mind. Look at the other day, brothers. Yesterday, this cop over there in Austin, Texas, he murdered his wife, he murdered the daughter and the boyfriend, and then he flee. Remember that dude that online he was an online athlete or professor or one of those dudes that do online fitness instructor. He took his 6 year or 9 year old daughter and his 11-year-old son. He cut their hairs off. He could not handle it. Being in the house with children all day. A lot of people are finding out now that person they did marry it because of the whole shenanigans out there. This is not the person that they love. Well, not only not this is not that person they love, they cannot stand this person. Wife cannot stand the husband, husband cannot stand their wife, and both of them cannot stand their children. And you see, like the so-called Indian brethren, the East Indian, they cannot stand it. They ended up murdering the whole family, granddaughters, grandma, grandpa, father, mother, sons. They ended up taking everybody out. They can't deal with this type of stress, brothers. Not with us. We've always been in the struggle. We got experience in this job, 400 years. People are going crazy. It's a one of part of the curse, brothers. This guy went to a doctor with his wife, and something the wife says something, and he pulled two guns and he shoot everybody in there. He shoot the wife and he shot himself in the head. He died, the wife didn't die. And you see the pattern, you see the same thing keep repeating over and over and over again. And our people are very calm. And like I said, brethren, all those people that you see, those things are happening. A lot of them look like us, but they are not our people. They are not. Our people don't go bad hish crazy like that. We didn't go bad hish crazy when we encounter hard time. We ended up killing everybody in there. Our people don't do this. We don't do that. We don't go. If you study our people don't go in their own family and kill everybody because they could not gain access to this. Those are other folks, other nation. They look like us, but they are not us. Okay, as you can see, brothers, that thing over there with the big bear and the eagle, it's not doing well at all. It's not doing well, brethren. It's not doing well. People think like, okay, they're going. It's a show off. It's a show off. Even now, even that fellow Mafugo News, he told you this ain't no joke, man. This is not a prepped up thing. This is not. Oh, they were practicing. Oh, the elite were practicing. Nope, nope. This thing is real. It is real. It is real, and it's going. And you see the ley line. This car get into an accident into a church and burn down the church. And people just sit there. Oh, we're gonna pray and then we're gonna come back. How, my man? How could you just sit there and not asking yourself something must have been wrong? Why would a car with two people in it, brothers, get into an accident? The car flew off into the highest step of the church, caught on fire. When the people came in, they tried to open the door, they could not. And the guy told you he saw the fire engulfing this woman's face and her hair and burn her alive in the car. And then you people gonna sit there and say, next Sunday I'm gonna be right there in this church, knowing for a fact last Monday's two people burned alive right down the step of this church. Like, how, man? How could you just sit there and not question yourself? But something must have been wrong. Why would God let this happen? We must have done something. and the other two dumbasses. And I understand, brothers. The Teslas, they have autopilot, but it's out of it. How could you do this? How could two guys take a car and say, which one of you scumbag was the genius who said, I'm gonna put this in autopilot and I'm gonna sit in the front, you sit in the back, and then it's going to drive by itself. Nobody say I'm gonna sit in the front just in case this car make a turn and then something happened. The internet cut, some unusual thing happened, so I can quickly take the control. No, I'll sit there, I'll sit in the back, you sit in the front, and then we'll let the autopilot take care. They trust in science. They trust in the little science fiction things. Those little says they see the commercial. Oh, this car can drive by itself, and so how dumb could you be, man? And things like that happen, brothers. A lot of things going on, man. Yeah, it's just when you're watching those people, you're like, okay, how is this even possible? Who come up with this? Who was the scumbag who was brave and smart enough to come up with that plan? I would like to see this guy and shake his hand. Who did this? So can somebody get that scumbag Peter Apostle and then out of my life in the chat room? Get this get kick this dog out. We don't want this type of garbage here. Oh yeah, man. It's a lot of thing going on, man. Yeah, they think that this is the Jetson. They like to think things like that. No, man, things you cannot do this, man. You cannot go around and then try to be in a car and then let this car automatically drive by itself. Are you out of your freaking mind? Are you out of your mind? I understand you want to demonstrate something. You can sit on the front seat, not touching anything. If something happened, you can correct the mistake. You sit on the back seat. Brothers, sisters, we don't do conspiracy theories here. Everything is real. Everything that you're dealing here is real. Talking about real, we are going to study the pillar of fire. Now, this chapter, we're going to study the theology of worship, Egypt theology of worship, and also the destiny of Remeses. How you're going to see that the Messiah prophesied. He made Remeses prophesize. The whole thing. And when you start reading those books, you understand that the Messiah have a great sense of humor. And not only that, you understand like the other side have no power whatsoever, man. They have no power whatsoever, man. They have no power whatsoever. And you're going to see this here, brothers. Now, in the previous letter, Remeses speak with Sesostris, and they are agreed to worship one God. And you find out that there's a lot of things that the Egyptians they worship. Okay, they worship a bunch of animals. Those are the scumbag Egyptians. Even though they told them not to do this, this is not what you're supposed to do, but they don't care. Now, in this chapter, brothers, there's something very bad that's going to happen, but it's going to happen, man. It's really disturbing, but it did happen. All right, please click the like button. Let us begin, brethren. This is Sesostris, the prince of Phoenicia, 28 years old, writing his mother, Epithia, the queen of Phoenicia. And this is what he said to his mother. Are we on the right path? Wait a minute. Oh boy. Mm-mm. Whoa, this is. Am I in the right place? Oh boy. There we go. There we go. All right. I was in another chapter. I was in another letter. This is letter 14, page 164. All right, then. This is what he said to the mother. The palace at the priest of Happis. My dear mother, I will now describe to you my visit with the prince to the most remarkable shrine in Egypt. While the worship of Osiris at On, which is the religious city, and Memphis is the government city, is a series of splendid paganism or pageantries, but little differing from the gorgeous sun worship which you witnessed some years ago at Baalbek. The rites of Apis are solemn and severe as the temple in which they are celebrated is grand and majestic. So now he's describing the mother, the way the Egyptian worship, the way their manner and custom how they worship inside of the temple. Now he witnessed something. He witnessed an event that happened. It's pretty sad, brothers. The temple, well, no, well, he wasn't there, and then him and Remeses, they were about to get out of the temple, aka the church. As we were about to ascend to the gate, I was startled by a loud and menacing cry from many voices, and looking around, perceived a Taurian mariner, recognized by me as such by his dress, who was flying across the square with wings of fear. A crowd which momentarily increased pushed him swiftly with execrations and cries of vengeance. As he drew near, I noticed that he was as pale as a corpse. Seeing that he drew him towards me, he fell at my feet, crying, "Save me, O my prince!" This is horrible. While Sesostris and Remeses is getting out of the temple, there was a loud noise. They had a big tumult, a big noise, and people are fighting and running, crying. And then when he looked, he saw one man running. And then there's like a massive amount of people chasing this dude. And the guy is crying, and then they're chasing him. But when he looked at the guy, upon the look at the guy, he recognized this guy was Italian, a Phoenician. He was from Tyre, a city in Phoenicia. And he was running and crying, and then he saw Sesostris, and he flew and jumped at Sesostris' feet, and he tells Sesostris to save him. He says, "Save me, my prince, my lord." "What hast thou done?" I demand. "Only killing one of their cats, my lord." The throne came rushing on like a stormy wave, uttering fearful cries. "May I try to protect him, O Remeses?" I asked, for I knew that if taken, he would be slain for destroying one of the sacred animals. So, this dude they were chasing, he jumped in Sesostris' feet. He asked Sesostris to save him. And Sesostris said, "What did you do?" He said, I killed one of their cats." And Sesostris looked at Remeses and said, "Remeses, can I protect this guy?" And Remeses said, "You can try. But like I told you before, those people are freaking backward, man. They are stupid. I will see if I can, but I fear my interposition will not be heeded in a case like this," he replied. That's how Remeses Moses said. He said, "I will try, but like I told you before, those scumbags are scum, the lowest of the low. But I fear that my interposition will not be heeded in the case like this," he replied. At the same time, he deprecatingly waved his hand to the infuriated populace, which had in few moments increased to 1,000 people. You got a couple dozen people chasing this guy. Now, by the time he was asking Remeses stuff, 1,000 people already came in there. Hooks, pitchfork, baseball bat, burglary tools, shovels, sticks, stones, clubs, batons, all sort of instrument to beat people. They're after this guy. No, not even the prince. He has killed a sacred animal. By our laws, he also must die. We will sacrifice him to the gods. In vain I entreated, and Remeses interposes. The wretched man was torn from our presence by as many hands as I could seize him, thrown down the steps of the temple, and trampled upon the furious crowd until nothing like a human shape remained. The formless mass was then divided into pieces and carried to a temple where numerous sacred cats are kept in order to be given to them to devour. Such is the terrible death they inflict upon one who by accident kills a cat or an ibis or ibis. This guy was a tyrant, a Taurian. He was a Phoenician, a mariner, a visitor. And by mistake, he killed one of the cats. Like we told you, those lowest scumbags, they worship all kind of animals. If you ever, that is why we always say full disclosure and full disclaimer. There's no difference. When you say something here, those people that are watching, they don't have the mind to comprehend what you're saying. They will take what you're saying and take it literally. For instance, and and the holy books, they taught the Egyptian that YAHAWAH himself, his powers is as flexible as a cat. He can change. If you throw a YAHAWAH in the hair, he will always learn on his feet. They taught you literally talking about a cat, and they will go ahead and start worshiping cats. They make the cats their gods, just like they can't make the Bible their gods. Just like certain country, you can't say nothing about the prophet. You even cough, you say the name of the prophet, they will kill you. They raise the prophet above Allah. If you say and you draw the prophet in any shape or form, they will take your head off. They raise that prophet above whatever God they are worshiping. That's what Moses told Remeses. He told Sesostris in the beginning. He said, "Listen, they're not supposed to do this." The high priest told them, "Say, you're not supposed to worship the creation. This is just a representation, a meaning, a metaphor, a way for us to explain to you. We don't know. We say the Most High is strong as a rhinoceros, as a bull, as a raging bull." And then to them to explain that they made a bull, they say he's strong as this, like this bull. And then they will literally take this bull and go worship him. They worship fish, even vegetable, brothers. Now, this guy made a mistake. He killed one of the cats by accident, brethren. It's not like something he killed the cat to eat it. Most likely he's a mariner, probably was taking big stuff out. One of the stuff fell out of his hand and fell on the cat and killed it. And then they say, by law, he killed one of our sacred animals. We will kill him. Brothers, don't make any mistake. I am not going to name any country, but there's a specific country as we speak right now. They are catching hell. Some dude over there and some inbred fools went over there and killed 8 people, killed 4 of them. Their country just have 200 over 275,000 cases of this plague. And this country, brothers, cows are considering a sacred animals. When you look in those people's sacred texts, such as the Nag Hammadi, there's so many texts that from those people country. It says nothing about worshiping the goddamn cow. Those people raise that cow above the creator. When you ask those the druids, they told you they're not supposed to do this. They even worship monkeys. One of those guys, remember that guy? He made Donald Trump into a god. He actually made Donald Trump into a statue, and then he formed his mini religion, and he put the statue there. He had a bunch of people that came in and worshiped Donald Trump. That guy actually died of COVID too. You cannot touch those cows. They are sacred. Well, not brethren. There is a difference. There's a difference between a sacred animal than a freaking animal that you worship like a freaking god. Rats. They took a bunch of rats. They start worshiping those things. We eat cow ears for burgers, brothers. We kill cow. We eat their flesh. And this country can do that. Well, not most of them do this, but some of them don't give a crap, man. When they are hungry, they look left, they look right. There's a goddamn car there. Come on, boy. Take that car in the back room. All right. Barbecue. That's what it is, brothers. Every single culture, brothers, they told those people, you are making the great creator angry while you're washing this freaking cat. They don't care. They don't listen. They'll do it anyway. That's what happened. Not even Moses, the prince, could have saved this fellow. They took that guy, brothers. They beat him. They trampled him with their feet until his body turned into a paste. They trampled this guy to death for hours. Then they took each part of the little piece of his body, they feed it to the cats. That's not the first time that happened. That is why they only allowed the Hebrews to eat pigs, the swine. That's the only animal they do not eat. This kind of saints, this kind of things, this kind of nonsense is still going on today, brethren. Make no mistake. Let us move in. The power of the state is weak when contending with the mad strength of superstition. That's what it says here. The power of the state. That's what Remeses talking. He said the power that even the prince could not stop those jackasses. They killed this innocent man for a cat. They trampled him until his body turned into a paste. The power of the state is weak when contending with the mad strength of superstition. That's why, yo, man. If it wasn't for the little one, man, I would have truly tell you what I'm thinking about. Superstition is the same as conspiracy, and Big Levi is no fan of conspiracy. Because of conspiracy, they took the beloved brother YAHAWAH, they beat him, they killed him. Conspiracy, superstition. It's not like Yahushua did nothing. When he came in, they said, "What the hell? What did this guy do?" Oh, he claimed to be the king of Israel. Okay, we don't care. We know Herod is the king and stuff. We get this guy out of here. Then they lie, lies upon lies. All the prophet, they were killed by conspiracies. People think like conspiracies when you like conspire in the back of people. No, conspiracy literally mean lies, superstition, a bunch of bull you keep coming in your head. And I despise that. I despise when people see something they cannot explain, they quickly give the glory to men. When I see something I cannot explain, I quickly give the glory to Yahweh. Things that I can explain, I give more glory to the Most High. Superstition, conspiracy is all over. Oh, it's a hoax. Hey, it's a hoax. It's a hoax. And you go out there, you catch this thing, you bring it to your family, you kill your entire family. Oh, the elite, the elite, the elite, the elite do this, the elite do that. Bearing false witness, man. I despise that. I can tell you, and I'm going to tell you again, I don't speak with 99.99 of my family members because they are a bunch of conspirators. They like to bear false witness. I don't speak with them. And I told them straight up, I don't speak with you people because you people like to gossip. You guys are like, you like conspiracies. You never look for facts. Facts is Genesis 15, verse 13. Facts is Genesis 15, verse 14. No, I'm going to go look. There's a conspiracy over there in the Middle East. Yeah, about Hish people. They said they're going to do something about them because it's happening. They like conspiracy. They won't look at facts. Liars. And I despise those people, man. I'm not a big fan of conspiracies. The power of the state is weak when contending with the mad strength of superstition, remarked Remeses. As we enter the temple between two statues of brazen bulls, entering through a majestic doorway, we came into an avenue, a vast column the size of which impressed me with awe. The temple was originally erect of Ptah, anciently the chief deity of Memphis, and dedicated in the presence reign to the sacred bull. Wu's apartment is the original adytum of the temple. Okay, so now they get into the temple and stuff like that, and they get in there. Let me see. They get inside another temple. And then when they get inside of that temple, they start noticing other quote unquote other statues that the people not supposed to worship. They're supposed to use it as a guide, but they are worshiping it. So we remain in this grand hall a few moments when the door of the opposite side opened and the sacred bull appeared. This chapter going to be very hard for me. They literally have a freaking bull in there. A live bull. A live bull, like a giant freaking bull. A male cow. They literally have a male cow. They dress just like I was telling you about those people, this East Indian worshiping those cows. They got a freaking bull there. Put gold in that bull neck. Dress that bull beautifully. That bull don't hang out with the other bulls. It's a sacred bull. When the door of the opposite side opened and the sacred bull appeared, he was conducted by a priest who led him by a gold chain fastened on to his horn, which were garlanded with flowers. The animal was large, noble looking, and jet black in color, with the exception of a square spot of white upon his forehead. Upon his shoulder was the resemblance of a vulture, and the hairs were double in his tail. These being the sacred marks of Apis, I observed them particularly there should be also the mark of a Scarabæus and his tongue. That's how they dress that freaking bull. Gold chain in his horn, flowers, and that bull is well dressed. The deity stalked proudly forth. Now, understand this, brothers. Those are it's just the Messiah is so great. Those are the priests that bring this bull in there to perform a certain ritual. They are performing a certain ritual with the bull. Remember, the priest told them, "Listen, this is a freaking bull. It's an animal. We keep it here to show you certain interpretations, certain things." Get some water. And you know the Mosai like to mess with those guys. The Mosai like to mess with them because those guys know they are funny, but sometimes the Mosai really mess with them. The Mosai shock them. The curator of the sacred animal led him once around the hall, the Egyptians prostrating themselves as he passed them, and even Remeses instinctively from custom bending his head. When he stopped, the prince advanced to him and taking a jewel collar from a casket which he brought with him, he said to the high priest, who with the sense of incense prepared to evoke the god. This is very similar with the Israelites when they were going to sacrifice a bullocks, a bull, to the Mosai. The bull that they're going to sacrifice to the Mosai must be a beautiful bull, strong, fat, well taken care of, without no blemish, a beautiful youngling bull. And when this bull is coming, everybody respect that bull, and then they will bring the bull to the high priest. The high priest will slay it, perform the ceremony. That's a form of ceremony. But the scumbag out there, they don't know what that is. When you come up with the bull, they thought this is the actual God. They thought this. That's why the priests always have to keep explaining to them. This is not the actual God. The bull is not the God. That is why the Israelites they run right. They threaten Aaron and say, "Give us God. Give us God to worship, or we'll freaking kill you." And Aaron has to make a freaking golden calf for them so they can worship. Because it is impossible for them to worship a God they can't see. It's very difficult, brothers. That's why they were threatening people like they want to see gods. So they brought the bull around. When they were walking with the bull, all the guys they were there, they stand, they see they were bringing the bull. Everybody make way. They are bringing the bull. Everybody bow their head. They let the bull pass. Remeses with custom bow his head. Everybody bow. They let the bull pass. And then Remeses, Moses, give the priest a high censer. The thing that do the I got one here. I forgot where I put it. The 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 smoke. This is way too funny, man. My lord, Prince of Apis, I, Remeses, the prince, as a token of my gratitude to the God of whom the sacred bull is the emblem for the restoration of my mother, the queen, to make to the temple an offering of this jewel collar for the sacred bull. So Remeses came in, aka Moses. He said, "My dear prince," he's talking to the high priest. The high priest has the censer, the chalice, and things like that. He came in. He said, "My prince, my high priest and stuff. I have come to make an offering unto the God, which you have this bull as an emblem, a representation. I have this gold, that have this color to take the higher power for healing my mother because she was sick. His sacred majesty, my lord prince, accept with condescension and grace your offering," answered the gorgeously attired high priest. So the priest said, the Lord accept your offering. He then passed the necklace through the cloud of incense thrice, going up to the bull, fastened the costly gift around his neck, already decorated with the price of a kingdom, while his forehead glittering like a mass of diamonds. A cool draft of wind passing through the open hall. A priest, at least 200 attendant priests, were assembled. They were witness the prince offering, but covering or housing of silver and gold tissue magnificently embroidering through it over the god. So Remeses gave the golden collar, and then the priest took the golden collar and passed it to the smoke. So when he passed it to the smoke, the offering is done, and he put the golden chain around the bull, which has a bunch of golden chain and stuff, like I told you before. And then the prince now make another request. This is where it get very interesting. I'm like, man, the most I like to play game with those people, man. The most I do this all the time. He did this with the sorcerers of Endor. He did this with those Egyptians fellow, which shows you the Mosai is he been doing this for a while. That is why those people always thought that he have some type of power. It's the Mosai messing with them. The prince now, at the request of the queen, proceeding to obtain an omen as to the success of his army. He therefore approached and offered the bull a peculiar cake, of which he is very fond, which the animal took from his palm and ate. At this good omen, there was a murmur of satisfaction, for a refusal to eat is accounted of bad omen. So, Remeses, aka Moses, made another request to the god. He wants to know who is going to succeed the queen for the army, for the power, the government, the throne and stuff. So he bought the cow a cake, like the cow likes to eat this certain cake. When they say cake, brothers, it could be anything. It could be crackers. It could be anything. Some type of thing that the cow likes. He put it in his hand, and then he offered the cow. And then the cow smelled it, and then he'd eat it. And then there were over 200 priests in there, and they were like, "Oh, hey, that's yes, that's good. That's a good omen." But if you did give it to the cow and the cow smell it and then leave it, that's a horrible omen. Okay, that's how they communicate and stuff. So the cow start eating in the palm of Moses, and then hey, everybody like, oh, hey, that's a good omen. So Remeses smiled as if gratified. Could it be that he had faith in the omen? Because he asked the omen, he said, will I succeed my mother as the Pharaoh if she die? Will I be Pharaoh? Will I be the ruler? And the cow ate the cake, and everybody like, oh yeah, okay, that's it. That's oh man, that's it. Yeah, that's good. And then Remeses smiled like, yeah, this is where the Mosai get. I was laughing all the way through. I'm like, man, the Mosai know what he's doing. Could it be that he had faith in the omen? I know not. Much must be allowed to the custom of a lifetime, trained to all these rituals from a child, that the philosophy of these later years wholly destroy in him all faith and confidence in the gods and his mother and his country. The priest now asks a question aloud addressed to the god. Now the priest standing, and they ask something very, very loud of the Mosai. Will the prince of Egypt, O sacred Apis, be a successful king when he shall come to the throne? Very loud. But when they ask the Mosai or whatever god they were asking, Like we told you, the Most High don't give you the answer yes or no like this. He sent you sign. He sent you dreams. He sent you all kind of things, but he never said yes. He never said, come up and say, yep, I'll approve this. He sent you a sign. The reply to the question was to be found in the first words Remeses should hear spoken by anyone when he left the temple. So for Remeses, aka Moses, to find the answer to this question, the moment he stepped out of the temple, the first thing he heard that come out of anybody's mouth is the answer. When they asked, will the prince of Egypt, O sacred Apis, be a successful king when he shall come to the throne? And then the answer is going to be when you step out of the temple, the first thing that you hear is the answer. He immediately departed from the peristyle and returned, and we returned through the solemn adventure of the portico. As we descend the steps, a seller of a small images of the I'm sorry, man. This is way too funny. Oh man, the Most High, I'm sorry. When Remeses, he just heard that, him and Sesostris, they quickly get out of the temple, because if you get out of the temple, the Most High will send you the message. The first thing that you hear, that's the answer. The moment he's getting out of the step, and then there was some dude, it's just the Most High is marking those people. There's one scumbag, one of the scumbag that's selling gods. Remember, Abraham used to sell gods. Abraham used to laugh at those guys. He's like, yo, I'm giving you guys woods. You're giving me gold because you worship a freaking woods. So there's this guy that's selling the images of the bull. And then Remeses is stepping, and the guy opened his mouth out loud and he said, he will never get there. He was talking to somebody. He said, he will never get there. And Remeses, God damn. Remeses was like, oh, shit. That's the first thing he hit. Yes. And Sesostris look at that. It's just, brothers, it's just like, for real, man. And Remeses say, he look at Remeses and say, mark those words, Sesostris. He said, not unimpressed by them. My mother is to outlive me, or Moheris, the scumbag, will seize the throne for me. Brothers, this is Mosai checkmate people right there. This is the Mosai checkmate people. Moses, Remeses told Sesostris, mark those words. Either I will not. He said, mark those words, Sesostris. He said, not unimpressed by them. My mother is to outlive me, or Moheris will seize the throne for me. That's a prophecy right there. That's a prophecy, brothers. This is the most. Remeses Moses was asking, will I be king? Will I be a great king and stuff like that? The scumbag opened his voice. The moment he saw Moses coming, hey, he will never get there. What kind of conversation this dude was having to whom? Who was that dude talking to? And he said he will never get there. That's the answer. That's the answer the Most High straight to Moses. He told Moses, you will never get there. This is not your path. You are not to be foul. And Remeses Moses said, mark those words, Sesostris. Either my mother going to outlive me, which means he's going to die in a war somewhere, or Moheris will take the throne for Moses. Which one it is? That's like the Most High, like, yo, man, the Most High like to mess with people, man. The Most High like to do things. The scumbag up in Israel say he will never get there. He was talking to a dude, but it's just like what would that dude was saying to the other guy the moment Moses came out? He said he will never get there. That's the first thing Moses and Remeses head. This is crazy. Now, Sesostris asked him, do you put faith in this woman? I know not what to answer you, my Sesostris. You have no doubt he had it. After all I have said, marvel at my offering to Apis, which is the bull. But it is hard to destroy early impressions, even with philosophy, especially if the mind has no concern, has no certain revelation to clinging to. When it casts off is superstition, but here I must leave you at the door of the hierarchy place. This noble priest is head of the priesthood of Ptah, a part of whose temple, as you have seen, he is devoted to Apis, or rather to two temples subject side by side. So, Sesostris asks, he say, do you have faith in this omen? Remeses said, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just, I'm going to have to wait and see. I don't have any anything I can add, because the God of God, when he says something, I know it in my heart it's going to happen, but I don't know how it's going to happen. Am I going to die, or Moher is going to take the power from me? He doesn't know. Truthfully, he doesn't. This chapter is pretty long, so we're on page 168 in the book. Let me see where I can quote it. All right, this chapter is very long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see if I can cut most of it. 168. Let's cut most of it, because some of them is a lot of things they are talking about philosophy. We got all side. He has asked you to be his guest while here. Honor his invitation, and he will not only teach you much that you desire to know, but will visit you the great pyramidal temple of Cheops. So now, Remeses, aka Moses, told him, listen, I have to leave now, but stay with this high priest here. He wants you to stay, but speak good with him, be good with him, and he will teach you all the secret of the books that we have. And then Remeses go to that high priest. Having entering the palace and places me under the hospitality of the noble Egyptian Azariah, therein the prince took leave of me. So Remeses left him. I would like to describe to you taste and elegance of this abode, my dear mother. Its garden, fountains, flowered courts, description, painting, and rich furniture. But I must first say a little more about the god Apis, who holds so prominent a place in the mythology of Egypt. In the hieroglyphic legend, it is called Happy or Hapai. And his figurative sign of the monument is a bull with a globe of the sun upon his head. Some of you are familiar with this quote-unquote deity. And the hieroglyphic cruciform emblem of life drawn near him. Numerous bronze. Okay, so so he's talking about that God. He said that this time the life of Apis is 25 years, which is a mystic number here, as it representing does not die. So he's diving and the Apis. So he says the lifespan of the bull of the god is 25 years, which means the bull after 25 years, the bull die. No sooner that bull die, they bring another bull to replace that bull. That bull is not eaten or killed. It's just getting old and then he die. Yeah, the Wall Street bull or things like that. No sooner the god expire, then certain priests who are selected for the purpose go in search of some other bull, okay? When that bull is dead, they go ahead and get another fresh bull. For they believe that the soul of Osiris has migrated into another body of one of these animals, or lords of Egypt, as I have heard them called, This belief of the constant transfer of himself by Osiris from the body of one bull to another is but the expression of popular notion here that souls of men transmigrate from body to body, and my opinion is confirmed by a scene depicted in the judgment hall of Osiris, where the god is represented as sending a soul whose evil deeds outweigh his goods back to earth and condemn it to enter the body of a hog, and so begins a new form of the lowest animal conditions and rises aggression and stuff. So he said the reason why they do that, they believe reincarnation, which means your soul cannot die, but the body can die. So every time a bull die, the soul of that bull, which is they call the soul of Osiris, move to another bull. They go ahead and get it. They say the same thing with men too. When a man die, your soul, in the Egyptian text, they say, when a man die, your soul go for judgment. Now they're going to judge you. He said, I witnessed something that is written on the wall. They said, like, if your soul is bad, you're going to begin at the lowest of, before you come back as a man, you're going to spend 1,000 years or two. You're gonna spend at least 10,000 years or 1,000 years being animals, and then you're going to become a man. The first animal you're going to enter, it's a hog, a swine, a pig. Okay, that is why the pig is like the lowest things. Oh boy. And then after that, you become a pig. After a pig, you become like um like a snake, a goat, and then you become a monkey, then you become a man, and then things like that. So yeah, that's why they get these things from. To enter the body of a hog, also benign and new and stuff like that, through other beasts higher and higher until he become a man again. When he, if you have acquired virtue and his probation, he was admitted to the house of God and become immortal. So it's not done yet. The process said you have to go as an animal until you learn your lesson, and then you become a man. When you become a man, then you start treating other people with virtue, and then when you die again, and then they're gonna take this soul is now clean, and then you become immortal. Your soul got to go like cleaning until they get you get back into becoming immortal. The prince assured me that their belief in the transmigration of soul is almost universal in the Thebaid. Okay, it's almost universal, as well as among the lower orders and the northern norms, and his universal reverence for animal is, without a doubt, and a great measure to be traced of this sentiment. A monstrous doctrine of the perpetual incarnation of deity of the form, not of men, but of the brute, seems to be groundwork of religious faith in Egypt. Oh man, yeah, it's a lot of works, man. 10,000 years, man. You're going to into torment until you get it right. Until you come back, you get it right. That's what they believe. He said, no doubt, man, this thing is a bunch of, he said, like, no doubt, people put a bunch of garbage in this to become like all those stuff, and those a monstrous doctrine of a perpetual incarnation of deity in the form, not of men, but of the brute, seems to be a groundwork for all religious faith in Egypt. He said this is all over Egypt. This idea is the key to the mysterious inconsistencies and grossness of the outward worship the interpreter of the animal's pantheon. Okay, there's a tradition said to me today to the prince Mizrahi, which was Mizraim, okay, which who I am now remaining, that when Osiris came down to earth in order to benefit the human race by teaching them the wisdom of the gods, evil men, the sons of Typhon, the Armites, as they remind us, pursued to destroy him. When he took refuge in the body of a bull who protected and concealed him, after his return to the heavens, he ordained that divine honors should be paid to the bull forever. Now, this is very similar to a certain brother that came in to deliver a story according to the Christian. This guy was taken, he was beaten and nailed onto a cross. And then ever since then, they worship that cross. It's no different. They worship that cross. That's what they said. Instead of worshiping what the fellow told him about the Father, he tell them, don't worship me, worship the Father. They wait until he died, they nail him on a cross, and then they took that cross, they start worshiping. There's no difference here. Some people, brothers, cannot get it. They can't get it. This is a representation. That has nothing to do with anything. Nope. I will worship that cross. But that has nothing to do with anything. How do you know it was a cross? I don't give a crap, man. I will worship it. Yeah, that's what he said. He said those things, they just again, brothers, they keep enforcing this. He keeps saying these things, okay? Now, because the legends say Osiris came in to teach men, he came in to teach men about the higher power. A group of men chased him, and he took refuge. He transferred his soul into a bull. And then when he transferred his soul into a bull, they could not find him. And then after when he come back to heaven, he told them a bull's supposed to be sacred. Instead of them to respect the bull and not freaking killing this animal for anything, they worship the goddamn bull. Like the bull is like a freaking god. Some people can get it. That's what they are. Perhaps, dear mother, the worship of Osiris under the form of Apis, which is the bull, may be the foreshadowing and type of what is yet really to come. A dispensation preparing men for the actual coming of the invisible and a visible form. Oh yes, brother, we already talk about those people in India, man. Those people are way too funny. Okay? Sesoshi says something right here. He said, perhaps, more dear mother, the worship of Osiris under the form of Apis may be the foreshadowing and type of what is yet really to come, a dispensation preparing men for the actual coming of the invisible and visible form. What a day of glory and splendor for earth. Should this prove true, the conception, dear mother, is not my own. It is taught to the great and wise and good Remeses, who is ever a man deified. He said here. He says here. So she said, mother, this is what Moses told me. He said, all those things are training for men when the true God came in and this land and this when he come back, when he make his return here, when people will see him, like when you're gonna look up on the sky, you're going to see this. You know, we're not too far with all those stuff happening over there in the middle, well, not the Middle East, but the Black Sea. And those are all prophecies. Those are all prophecies that was beaming into Remeses' head. He didn't know what they were, but he just said them. His vast and earnest mind, that's he's talking about Remeses, his vast and earnest mind, enriched with all the stores of knowledge that man can compass, seems as if it derived inspiration from the heavens. This is what he's talking. He said the way Remeses is talking, this guy talk like as if he's connected to the heaven. That's where he draw all his inspiration. His conversation is deeper than the sacred books. The ideas of his soul more wonderful than the mystery of the temple. That is why, brothers, you must always listen to what the Most High put here. Don't raise anything above the Most High. Learn as much as you can. Pray, ask the Most High, give me clarification. I don't understand this. This is confusing. Why would you do this? If you did say this in the beginning, why all of a sudden all the books now talking about how you're not gonna do it? Well, not even the books. Why would everybody keep saying that as long as you say I believe in certain things and I'm a good Christian and you will be saved. Why? And then he will send you the answer. Said, so I'll tell you straight up. I am what I am. I am, I was, I am, I will, I'm still is. I never change. Yes, people will change my word in the books and stuff, but as for me, I never change. I am what I was. I am. That's it. I am what I am. I am who I am. I am everything. I will not change. And then you will understand. Yeah, that's why the Most High, he always say, I am. Don't be coming up with it. Don't change me, man. The Most High way is not was, is I am, is always present. I am. Don't be challenging me in Haitian talking, oh, the Messiah. No, I am. The priest will seek another bull, discover him by certain signs mentioned in their sacred book. So the guy that is allowed to go over there to go look for the next bull has to use a special books that have all the sign that will tell him the exhibition of this bull. So this bull will do certain things the way this bull will look like, and they'll say this is the bull, and then they will just take that bull and stuff. And then they will bring the bull inside of the temple with chanting, music, and then they will give that bull to a specific person, and they will take care of that bull for a very, very long time. You will have people casting flowers in that bull head. Great celebration, okay, when that bull is and getting there, okay. They will escort this bull in there, and then there's a festival, and a festival of many days succeed, and the young deity and then led in solemn procession through the city, at all the people may see him. So now, once they find that bull they were looking for, after that bull died, and then they would put a bunch of flour on it and walk that bull all over the place. Everybody could see that bull, and then all the alcoholics, they are taking this advantage to drink to death. That's why, brothers, back then people drink a hell of a lot more, because it was all about like festival. And they will bring this bull inside of beautiful gardens. They have a specific place for him. They have a specific garden for him. They have a specific diet for him. They have a specific things for him, a specific place. He doesn't mix with the other bulls and stuff. It's something by itself, okay? Yeah, that bull is there. So at the death of Apis, okay, all the priests are immediately excluded from the temple, which is giving up the profound solitude of silence, and it is also mourn and solemn desolation, the loss of its God. Okay, when that bull died, all the priests left the temple. Okay, they left the temple empty. Upon the death of the last Apis, or the last bull, the priest expended 100 talents of gold. Now, listen, brothers, listen. Okay, listen. Upon the death of the last Apis, the priest expended 100 talents of gold and his obsequies. Oh, I'm not quite sure how to say that. And Prince Moheris, the scumbag, who seeks every opportunity to make a show of piety and to please the Egyptians, gave them 50 talents more to enable them to defray the enormous cost of funeral of the god. So it is say here, when Apis, the bull, quote unquote, their god, died, and the priest give 100 talents of gold, which is a lot of gold for the funeral. Now, Moheris, the scumbag, he never mess up, or he would never miss an opportunity to come over there to glorify himself, to show people how pious he is, how well he respect God. Him and God are the same. In fact, put him above God. So Moheris just step in there, like a scumbag, and then he give 50 talents of gold for the funeral. And then everybody's talking, did you hear that? Moheris give 50 talents of gold for the bull. Oh man, we really respect God. This guy is God's son. He give like half of his fortune. That's what that guy scumbag does. He like to do that, and he make it publicly. He doesn't do it behind closed door. He wait while they are talking. He does this all the time when everybody's there and stuff, and then he come with 50 talents of gold and just put it on the floor. So this This is for Apis, the god. I'm Moiris. I give this. This is all my money. I didn't swagger jack anybody for it. This is all mine. And then he was just walking out of there. That's what he does. The burial place of the Serapis at the name is On. So they will go ahead, they bury, like we told you, On or On is the religious capital. Memphis is the governmental capital. So Egypt has two capitals. And Rahamses, which is a city that the Hebrews are continually growing, it will be the treasure capital. That's where they had all the treasure. All right, page 172. Thus, my dear mother, I have endeavored, as you requested, the present before your mind a clear view of the system of theology and the forms of worship of the Egyptian, to evolve from the contradictory and vague tradition of reasonable faith to select a form of countless myth or a dominating idea to separate the true from the false, to bring harmony out of what regarded as a whole is confusion. Indeed, it is. Indeed, it's very confusing. That's why, serving the Messiah is very, very, very confusing if you're not being careful. If you're not being careful, you're going to be very, very confused. That's why you have to lend the Messiah your heart. Let him say, Messiah, Father, I'm giving you my heart as a piece of papyrus. Write whatever you wish in it. I'm giving you my heart as a tablet. Inscribe whatever you want in it. And then you will understand. If you keep following this book and that book, and then you don't want to go ahead and pray, meditate, and let the Messiah guide you, you're gonna end up being very, very confused. That's what the guy said here. Okay. Okay, so he's talking to the mother and things like that. So now I will now resume my pen, page 172, last paragraph. Now I will now resume my pen, which since writing the above, I lay down the partake of a banquet with the priests, my princely host, at which I met many of the great lords of Memphis, namely the Lord Keeper of the Royal Signet, the Lord of the Wardrobe Rings of the Queen's Palaces, and the Lord of the Treasury. These men of rank I well knew, having met them before at the table of the Queen. So he went to a party. Again, like I told you, those people went to a hell of a lot more party, man. Like every single night is a festival, is a banquet. Every single night is a party. Every single day is a banquet. Every single week is a festival. It's just like every time you're going around in Egypt because they were enjoying the blessing. But the Hebrews, they were working, brethren. They were working. These men, I already read that. There were also strangers who had met before them of elegant address and a rich apparel, each with the signet of his office in his left hand, among others, the Lord of Nilometer, who reports the progress of the elevations of the river and an annual overflow. All right, whatever, man. This dude named, whatever. So they have a dude there. He's one of those guy that he's one of the Lord that go around and measure the river. And every time the river elevated, and then he will report it. So that's a big job, And then they do all those big wigs were there in that party and Hish, and then those people are there. Annual overflow, in which at Lower Egypt is governed by his agricultural work, the president of the engraver on hard stones, an office of trust and high honor, the governors of several nomes and the gold collars and chains, the law of a house of silver. So all the lords are there, all the big wig of there, the lords of the house of silver is there, the lord of the house of gold is there, all the big wig of at this party over there. So the president of the architects, the Lord of Sculpture, the president of the School of Art and Color, with other men of dignity. There were also high priests of several fanes, of Ator and Phthah, of Oris, of Mahut, and of Ammon. Besides this gentleman, there was a large company of noble ladies, their wives and daughters, who came to the banquet by invitation for the princess Nelisa, the superb and dark-eyed wife of the prince Ahirak, and one of the most magnificent and queenly women next to the queen herself, of course. I have seen in the land of beautiful women. So he went to this party. They got all the big wig there and stuff. Even they got the beautiful. Those guys like to flaunt the wealth, just like today, brother. This is nothing going to a freaking Hollywood party. Jesse Jackson there, scumbag. Al Sharpton there. The director of agriculture is there. Steven Spielberg, scumbag Donald Trump there. Joe Biden in a wheelchair. At least, until they give him a bottle of whiskey and a couple of Viagra, so he's up on his feet. But you went to this party, all the scumbag there, and then they come with their wife. And he noticed there's a princess named Nelisa. Nelisa is probably the one that, scumbag VIP. Nelisa is the most beautiful woman he ever saw in the land of Egypt, but not too beautiful than you, mother. You prettier than her. Again, this is a protocol of formality when you're writing to a queen, when you're writing to a king, when you're writing to a princess. You never say this person is prettier than them or somewhat their beauty rival you. He says she's the most beautiful in Egypt, but not over there in Phoenicia. You are my mother. That's how they would, okay? Remember, Abbas is the same thing. He was writing to Belus. He said, damn, Belus, my cousin. Adora is the most beautiful woman. But I don't think she's more prettier than Zaila, the princess. Well, he didn't know her name. He said, the princess of Egypt. So, yes, scumbag Boris Johnson there with a giant freaking bottle of whiskey, and then he walking there with a freaking couch pushing behind him just in case he want to take a nap. And then they're like, Boris, you want to go ahead and then get on camera? Hold on a second now, my boy. Oh, yes, Harris Munson and stuff like that. I'm going to go ahead and take a pint of beer, and then everything going to get back to normal. And I want to say F all the coms, F all the elbows, and everybody go ahead back to hell. And then take a dreadful swig, and then go back right to sleep. God, I despise that scumbag. But anyway, he was at that party, and all those people that were there, all the scumbags and stuff. They like to do that. They like to go ahead and show. I'm the Lord of Silver. Look at my wife. Look at her. Beautiful, right? She's beautiful. Say she's beautiful. All right. Bitch is beautiful. Good. I know this. It's just like the way he described the party. Like, yo, this is pretty much the same bull that's going on around here. So, those kids out there, man. It was a splendid banquet. It was a beautiful party. The lady Nelisa, the lady Nelisa, the princess, okay? The lady Nelisa preside with much less dignity and grace. But I have already described a banquet to you. This was similar in display and the mode of entertaining the guests. I was seated opposite the daughter of the priest of Mars. Okay, all the guys back there have a priest, okay? All those priests, they have daughters and sons, whose beauty I have before spoken. She asked me many questions in the most captivating way about Tyre and yourself and the Phoenician ladies generally. She smiled and looked surprised when I informed her that I was betrothed to the fair princess Tamonda, and asked me if she were as fair as the women of Egypt. She inquired if Damascus had already been part of Phoenicia and how large was your kingdom. Now, when he sit at this party, again, I keep telling you people this, the princess, they never behaved back then. So he sit opposite next to this princess. The princess of the priest of Mars. The princess of the priest that Mars. So this princess keep questioning him. The princess keep asking him. That's how they do. It's called, when you are fishing, reel it in, reel it in. Put the bait. When the bait is in the water, reel it in. Go ahead, put the bait until the fish took the bait. That's how princess does. And he was asking him, you don't, again, brothers, this is formality, man. This is formality. You don't go to certain place, certain party with certain people. You ask them, are you single? Brothers, I don't like giving, well, I can't give dating advice, but you never ask a woman if she's single, or never ask any men if she's single. Well, I say women. You don't ask people if they are single. You reel them in. It's something I see people doing TV all the time. Are you single? Or people are talking, are you single? It is considering rude. You don't do that. Relationship advice. That's not what that is. You see, you start talking about how beautiful that country. She started talking about him, say, how is Tyree? How is things over there? When you see a woman, brothers, you are interested in, you don't go ahead and tell this woman, oh, are you single? Oh, yeah, no, I'm not interested. No, you open a conversation. That's a beautiful dress. Is that the iPhone 7? Hey, I heard Uber got canceled. Is this true? I'm assuming that's the conversation you scumbags having in party with people like Uber, and then podcasts, and that last movie that came out. Yeah, it's a huge turnoff when people call, are you single? What? No. What the princess does here, she asks many questions. Times on time, she reeling in him, reeling it in. Hi, Tyrese. Tyrese beautiful over there. And then she started asking about the women. Are the women in Egypt, Phoenicia, is as beautiful as the women of Egypt? So when she asked him this question, brother, what she said, she literally asked him, okay, I'm pretty. Are you interested? And he said politely, yes, they are. In fact, I am betrothed. I am there to marry one of the most beautiful women, Tamunda. And the princess got surprised. That's how you answer people. It is very rude to walk up to somebody and ask that person if she's single or she married. Are you married? Are you? I see a wing. I see a. Oh, where's my? I have a freaking. What is it? I had a. Okay, all right. My daughter took my jewelry. I had. I had one of those gold thing that I used to wear way back. I think been there for years. I used to wear this. Um, in my finger. I wasn't married, but I used to wear it. Never assume when you see somebody wearing something like a go and say, "Oh, I see you wearing a ring. Are you married? Are you this? Are you that?" Yeah, it's it's a huge turnoff for women. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. All right, brothers. It's 10 o'clock. Let me take a quick talk. Beloved brother Patrick Small, I received everything. Thank you to the beloved sister Tamiel. Uh, I had this book. I bought this book on Amazon, which is a bunch of money. They cancel it. Now the beloved sister sent it to me. The United States and Britain in prophecy. So this is beautiful. This is beautiful. The sister sent this to me, and I received it, beloved sister Tamiel. Thank you so much. And give me a second. Thank Floor. Beloved sister Lamonda Denis, I received your letter. Thank you so much. Everything is good. That's all we have so far. And let me see. No, I haven't. Go back to the place again. Yeah. So I got this book, and when the Most High move us, brothers, we'll go into this book. It's not a big book though. We can take 1 week. 1 week, we can be done with this. 1 week. If the Most High allow us, we'll go and then study the whole book. Okay. So now, all praises to the Most High, brothers and sisters. You guys need a little break. Do you folks need a little break of 5 minutes breaks, or should we keep on trucking? Let me see. Oh, I don't have water. Let me go ahead and get some of that water. Okay. Let me go get some water, brothers.
Green, sample manipulator.
All right, let me go get some water. I'll be back. All right. All right, brothers and sisters. We are back from that 2-3 minutes poor pause. Should we keep on trucking, brothers and sisters? Should we keep on moving? Should we keep on moving? All right, we keep on trucking. Again, when we were talking, brothers and sisters, full disclaimer, full disclosure. This is not me giving dating advice. And I keep telling people I'm probably the worst scumbag you could ever approach and ask for dating advice. I don't know how to do those things. And that's why when I go to those fancy parties back then, I choose not to talk or not to do anything, which it barely, happened. When I start talking, people start drawing near me, and then women start laughing, and then they start asking me certain things, and then it's very hard for me to turn things down, especially with that thing, involving chicken. So and good food. So now, brothers, I'm not giving dating advice. I'm telling you, this is a formality people used to use back then. When they are talking, brothers, you don't go to somebody, you ask this person, are you single, are you married, are you divorced, are you this? You send signal. That's why when Abbasis was talking with Adoa, actually, Abbasis told Adoa his love even before the whole thing. Remember, when your love is too strong with somebody, whether Whether you want it or not, you will blurt it out. That's what happened to Abbasis when he was at that party. He was talking to Adoa in front of all the priests and all the high bigwig, and then he told Adoa he loved her in another word, and then he got shot, and then he just quickly shut his mouth, and then he gone. Remember when he was Adoa asking, anytime a woman asks you, is there any prettier women in your country? And then and Abbas said, not as pretty as you. And then he realized what he said in front of everyone. And then he took a giant gulp of wine, and then he just left up before he said anything else. There are certain things you cannot, your mind, it's racing. You want to say something, and then you ended up saying the wrong thing. That's what that is. It's a formality those people are using. Okay, so let us finish reading. So I don't want the people come after me and say, oh well, Big if you giving like advice and stuff. You're telling men and women to go cheating on their partners. That's not what that is. If you don't tell somebody, brothers, this is none of people business about your personal life. Me personally, I don't go around and tell people I'm married, I'm this, I'm that. It's none of your business. None of your business. How many children you have and stuff like that. I don't go ahead and ask people those straight questions. People find out I have kids because, oh, come on, man. Really? People didn't even have to ask you how many kids I have here, man. Really? Unless you've been following me like right now. But I don't go around and tell people stuff. In the conversation, you drop clues. That's why I always ask people, do you catch my drift? You left something drift in there. If somebody catch it, they catch it. You have to learn how to speak indirectly. That's what YAHAWAH does this all the time. Our people, that's what they speak. They speak indirectly. Certain things that if you want the person to be interested, you say certain things not directly onto the person. You throw water, anybody, you don't wet nobody getting wet except the person that want to get wet by this water that you throw. And directly speak parables. Thank you. You speak, and that's how we speak in the hood. Our people, that's how they always speak. They speak in parables. Because people like to take your words, brothers. They like to take your words and turn it against you. Say, this is what you say. Yes, Big Levi, you did say this. I was listening to one of your podcasts, and you say this, you say that. Metaphor. Always use metaphor, brothers. So people won't take your words and turn it against you. In a court of law, they will just say, oh, online you did say this. Thank you. Ebonics. That's how people speak Ebonics, because the cops usually always listen to them. They will take what they said and they'll go to court and say, oh, this guy is a crack dealer. He said he went to a crack and stuff. Instead of crack, our people use hard. She smoked hard. He smoked hard. And people thought they actually meant hard. I mean, he smoked soft. He sniffed soft. They actually made the powder cocaine. That's how they used to talk. It's a horrible example to take in front of the little ones, but then again, that's what that is. Zaza. All right, let's move in. So, when I informed her that I was betrothed to the fair princess Damunda, and asked me if she were as fair as the women of Egypt, she inquired if Damascus has always been part of Phoenicia and how large your kingdom was. You see what she does now? The moment the prince told him he's betrothed to, he is to get married to Tamunda, and then the princess understand that he gave him an answer, say, I'm sorry, but I am already engaged. And then she quickly steer the conversation to the city. How large is the city? Is Damascus already part of Phoenicia? That's how you do it. If the answer was like, oh, yes, the ladies in my country are beautiful, but not as beautiful as the one that are here in Egypt, that means you open the conversation to get closer. And then the student will say, really? Do you find the ladies of Egypt beautiful? Yes, certainly. Especially the one that I'm talking here. And then you will laugh. She will laugh. That means there's an interest. And then you will start talking. like Abbasis showed you. He spent 3 hours talking under the moon with Adoa, certain things that she said to him. He said to her, he could not write it in the letter. They are private things. That means there are private stuff that happened. There are some simple that happened. That's what it is, brothers. I told you I never. When was the last time I even went on a date? I never went into a date with a woman. I never did. I went out and have fun and then go to parties and stuff when I was back there. Now, remember, I was a mediocre rapper, okay? So I used to sell beats and stuff like that. People don't like, oh, would you like to go out and stuff and this like that? It doesn't work like that. I see people do this scumbag stuff in movie all the time. That's not how you ask somebody to go out. You made a proposition out there. Just like when you want to save money, you made a proposition. What if we save $5 a week and stuff, you'll find a bunch of people that want to get in. You don't go out there and then say, oh, okay, now this is what we're going to do. We're going to save $5 and stuff like that. And no. You make proposition. You propose an idea, and then the family going to come in. You got to be that's what it is, sister. It is flirting, but in a very careful way. Because you don't want to say something, brothers. It's very important. You are speaking with the king and queen. They can have your head just like that. If you say something to the princess she didn't like, she can just have your head just like that. Remember, Moheri says something to Moses. Directly said, Moses, you got a big head. You know, the 2 crowns gonna be on your head. That's very insulting. Moses could have killed him. He told him straight up, you don't forget yourself in my mother's house. He told him straight up, if you weren't in my mom's house, I would have sent your body home without your head. Okay, so be very cool with it. When you're talking to someone, when you want that person to know you have an interest on that person, again, this is not me giving advice to dating or go cheat on your wife and your husband or whatever it is. You don't directly ask this person, is that person single? Or ask that person to go to dinner with you or in a movie and stuff. You throw something out there. Boy, I heard about the new movie King Kong versus Godzilla is appearing. Everybody's raving about it and stuff like that. Oh, I haven't seen it. Really? Yeah, I heard people say it's kind of like, nice and stuff. Oh boy, are you interested in seeing a giant monkey fighting a freaking giant, lizard, things like that? It's the worst thing you would tell a women is to go to a movie. There's a freaking monkey fighting a giant freaking lizard. No, find something much more, I would say, feminine. Some women like to see crap like this, a freaking monkey fighting a big ass lizard. They say, "Oh my god, I want to see this movie." All right, well, let me check. There's a display over there, so that's how you do it. But at least that's why I did it. So I was known as as a smooth scumbag back then. But right now, the Lord changed my heart, but not my taste and my belly. Now she inquired if that. Okay, we already read that. When I told her that your kingdom was composed of several lesser kingdoms, once independent, but now united as far as the Lebanese under the crown, she inquired if you were a warlike queen to make such conquests. Okay, so she asked, like, is your mother one of those Amazonian women, fighting women and stuff like that? Which her mother was actually one of those Amazon women. Remember, she got into a chariot and started killing men and shoot them down and stuff like that with a bow. But she was all the so-called Amazonian women, they are the most feminine women you could ever possibly see. Amazon women doesn't mean they were so tall and then they're men like Amazon. No, that's a men fantasy. That's a men fetish. All the Amazonian women, they were like short little women and they cook, clean, they do it. They were non-threatening women. If you see a 6'2" women, muscular and so, whoa, this is intimidating. I'm okay. I'm not going to mess with it. No, they look like regular women wearing dress, they're talking in women voice, and then that's when you really don't pay attention to them. You're like, those women, they won't hurt me. And then those are the ones that will take your head off just like that. The mother was one of those women, one of those little women that you pay no mind to, and then she cut you in half. That's what that is. So partly of your union against the kings of Philistia, partly a desire. She said that if the danger were past, of where you were no more, the kings of these independent cities might dissolve and stuff. So he was asking the men, like, okay, so you know, if your if the mother is a warlike lady, which she was, but she said, but when she become, we'll say menopause, when she cannot do the strength stuff again, will it make sense to those men to come up and take over the kingdom from her? And he said, no, she got so many gods, well, including him. He says, such is the son and stuff like that. Let me see where we at. So now, again, brothers, it's called formality. Listen, you don't, when you're having a conversation, boy, this lesson gonna be very long. When you have a conversation, brothers, in a private party, you don't write it and tell it to another person. A gentleman never tell. Okay, that's what he said. I repeat this conversation, dear mother, in order to show you that the high-born daughters of Egypt are not only affable and sensible, but that they are possessed no little knowledge of other lands and take an interest in countries friendly to their own. You have to let the person know, okay, the reason why I repeat this conversation is to show you this and that, this and that. When somebody tell you something, for instance, when I was in one of my live and I say something about my father, and somebody make a video and said, remember what you said about your father being this and that? Oh, look at you, look at this, look at that. Remember you said your daughter and stuff like that. People like to do this. Say something, Big Levi, so I can take it. That's why when you're speaking with somebody, brothers and sisters, you never tell that person your true intention. The moment that person heard your intention, that person will take it and then run with it. People are evil out there. I am not telling you to be a deceitful person. Never deceive anyone. This is not in your blood to deceive people. But throw them off. There is a big difference, brothers, between throw somebody off and deceive someone. When you're talking, you use Ebonics, you're throwing people off. They don't know what you're saying. But when you deceive people, every 12 p.m., you come in over here, you pray with them, you study with them, you joke with them, they trust you. They don't know you, though, but they trust you. It turned out you were doing all those things not only for your vain gain, and you were doing these things so you can, quote unquote, get certain things that the women possess or certain things that they get in their account. And then they find out that's what you were doing. You're a deceitful man. This is devil's snake's work. You weren't true yourself. All those things you were saying, they were just a facade. A pastor, a preacher, you out there in the church, a pastor, you're supposed to be the creme of the creme of the la creme, the salt of the earth. You're supposed to be the guy that they look for, they look upon you. People can see, say, okay, this pastor, he's the shepherd. You're supposed to be the shepherd. That's why I tell people I'm no pastor. But come to find out, that's not, the preaching is what wasn't the only thing you weren't good about. You were good about scamming people, taking their money. You were telling them about that $5 challenge. You actually asked them to send you the money, and then you stole $2 million for those people. And then you keep lying about it. Most of you will walk away. Most of you, man, Big Levi was a massive scum. He stole everything. I leave this from the Most High. But I can guarantee you there was that one guy in hell, that one woman that said, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And that person gonna come after me. and I won't see it. I won't see it coming. And then when that person did take care of me, they won't know who did it because I deal with so many peoples out there, and they'll say good for him. And the cops will just drop the case because this guy was a massive. He scammed all those people. That's deceit. When it's come to throw off, I'm a master of throwing people off. Oh yes. The moment I'm talking to somebody, brothers, this is not bragging. I can tell if you're a narcissist or not. The moment I find out that person is a narcissist, I give him a sword. I gave her a sword. And then that person will go around and just sit on that sword or lay on it. I gave them a rope. And then they will go ahead and put that rope in that door and hang themselves. I don't deal with narcissists. It's some great abilities that the Most High gave me. When I'm talking to someone, I can already tell. Now, that person is a narcissist. I will not deal with you. I'm not teaching you how to be a narcissist or a deceitful person, but be very careful. Be very, very careful when you're talking to people. People like to take things out of your mouth and make it into a big deal. You say this, you say that. No. I never ask you for anything. I never say this. I never say that. That's what that it is. Okay. All right, brothers. Okay. So, all right. So, Princess, where we were. Yeah. So, my visit to the pyramids, I will now describe, dear mother, although in a letter to Princess Tamonda, I have given a very full account of it. So, he's about to visit the pyramids. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. No. All right. So yeah, he was going to from. Okay, I'll repeat. Yeah, that's good. All right. So my visit to the pyramid, I will now describe dear mother along Princess Tamuda. He always said, brothers, he was writing his mom and his girlfriend, but in separate, different letter. But we never see what he saw to we never saw what he said to Tamunda, the Princess Tamunda. Okay, so he said he already described to Tamunda the pyramid. Accompanied by the Iraq and few young lords, his friends and mine, we were in a chariot to now get to the city, past the equal guards. Okay, so they were riding to see the pyramid. I will here state it used which, like everything in Egypt and a religious one, it is connected with the passage of the dead from this world of the next to the Egyptian. Not only believe in the future state, but rewards and punishment await the soul. So while he was riding in the chariot, so they were going to see the pyramid, he saw they cut somewhere, they cut a piece onto the Nile. They cut a canal onto the Nile, a part of the water, and then they pass it in the middle of a garden. And that specific path, they have they put dead bodies floating there because the Egyptian believe, well, anything in Egypt is freaking religious. So, and then again, they were in the city of On. So he said the Egyptians believe in afterlife. Not only that, they believe in recompense. Whatever scumbaggery you used to do in this life, you will pay this when you get to the next. If you even get to the next, before you get to the next, you will pay for it. When a person of distinction dies, after the second or third day, his body is taken charge by the embalmers. You know, the mummifier, the guy that turned you into the mummy. Okay, again, this full disclosure, disclaimer. I'm not advertising or advise people, you know, to turn the dead one, loved one, into mummies by wrapping toilet paper around them. Zaza. They have houses and quarter of the city set apart on this for this purpose. Morgues. Here, the frames of the dead are shown three models of as many different modes of embalmment. So they have three ways that they do the embalmment. Okay, They show them 3 mountains, okay, in which they choose one according to the expense they are willing to incur. So when you're doing the funeral, brothers and sisters, they give them 3 options. Just like here, they give you 3 options. Or you want to bury that person regularly in the coffin, or you want to cremate that person and then take the ashes, or third, or you want to sell the body to science. Again, full disclosure and disclaimer, I am not advertising or advise anybody to sell their loved one for freaking money, because I believe one body is like 100,000. They sold them to the military to use as oh boy, this is pretty disturbing. But they sold them to the military. They used them as oh good lord, this is more disturbing the more I think about it. But anyway, I said they used their body as mine finders, or how our mind will react. We try to not to scar the little one, but uh, they use the body for the mind. See how the mind will respond as the body. I don't know what kind of scumbag will do this to a loved one, man. Sell your loved one to so they can use their body as quote unquote explosive. Who will do this? Who's the scumbag that will do this? Who's the guy that will sell their loved one body to the army so they can use it? My good lord. Anyway, uh, the most honorable and most costly, say the high priest to me, as we were serving the lake of the dead, towards which a procession was moving from the city, and we came before it. It is that of which the body is made, resemble Osiris. A custom prevail among us, that the operator who first wounds the body with a sharp embalming flint preparatory to embalming in ordeals by the act, and is compelled to take the flight pushed by excretion and pelted with stones. No doubt the man we saw flying out of the house this morning as we passed was one of these incisors. Yeah. He said there is 3 ways you buried people in Egypt. One of the best way, honorable way, is to embalm that person, made him a mummy like Osiris, made that person look like Osiris, cut his skin, put certain essence and smelling good odor thing in the mummy like Osiris. That's why thousands mummies that they buried thousands of years ago, when they extract the mummy, they don't smell, they're still smelling the perfume thousands of years. Mom? Oh, that's my mother. She just got here. They took uh they took the body. That's the best way. That's the first best honorable way. And he said, no doubt, the funeral that he saw that was passing on the water, that's a Osiris funeral. The body remains 70 days. If that of a person of rank at the embalmers, it is the either taking the house or to be detaining a longer or shorter time, according to the attachment of relative of the reluctant part of it, or prepare for entombment. So the body customary stay for 70 days, but it depends on how close those people were to that disease. If that person is somebody that was loved, they may keep it for 100 days, 75 days, 72 days. If that person was known as a massive scumbag, they won't even keep that body for that long. The moment they make the embalming, they say, throw that fool wherever you can throw it. During the interval of 70 days, the mourners continue the signs of lamentation, which often are excessive in degree, such as stripping of raiment, beating the breast, and pouring dust upon the head. So he said, during these 70 days, the mourners, remember, brothers, I told you, the Egyptians, they have a custom. I didn't even tell you that. You read it in this book. The Egyptians, they have a custom that you can hire mourners. You can hire people to help you mourn your love. Those are professional women that will beat their bare breasts, put dust upon their heads, and then start beating themselves for money. Those were, that's, boy, we need to bring that job back. Mourners. Those are professional mourners. He said this thing is so intense. It's like you spent 70 days of crying, yelling. Man, can you imagine being doing this thing all your life? Hired mourners, like, what is this? But that was a gig back then. Oh yeah, you can do that, brothers. For those of you scumbag watching out there, if you're gonna make an up, oh no, I mean not an up, an app, an application for your phone about hiring mourners to go mourn for people that don't have anybody, you owe Big Levi 50% of that profit. All right, there you go. If any of you scumbags out there going to make an app about like hiring mourners to go mourn for people wedding like that Uber scum, you owe that idea come from me. All right, I said it on camera. If you do this, I'll drag your ass to court and sue your ass back to the Stone Age. Anyway, during the interval of 70 days, we already put dust upon the head and stuff like that. The pomp of the burial of the pharaohs, I am informed, is inconceivable, grand, and imposing. The whole realms drains in the rights and possession, and every temple is crowded with sacrificer and incense burner. Okay, so the whole temple, brothers, they got sacrificers, incense burners, and things like that, and all this stuff. We stop our chariots to witness the funeral procession advance to the shore of the lake from the wide streets leading from Memphis. So they stop, brothers, they are looking at the funeral and things like that. So first, we came 7 musicians playing a solemn dirge, what? Upon a lyres, flute, and harp with 4 chords. So they were musicians at the funeral. They still do that till nowadays. Then servants carrying vase of flour and others follow. This is a funeral procession, all right? This is an Egyptian funeral procession. Follow bearing baskets containing gilded cakes, fruits, and crystal goblets of wine. 2 boys led a red calf for sacrifice on the behalf of the dead, payment. And 2 others carried in a basket 3 snow white geese, also for sacrifice. Others brought beautiful chairs, tablets, napkins, and numerous articles as a household description. While others still, oh boy, there's a lot of crap going on in this. 7 men carrying daggers, fins, sandals, and bows, each having a napkin on his shoulders, follow. Next, I saw 8 men appearing supporting a table and lying upon it as offering, were embroidered couch, and oh boy, there's so, man, the funeral of the Egyptian was so complicated. There are so many people doing a bunch of things there. It's a freaking dead person, man. Yet you got that's a lot of work going on for that funeral, man. Oh, Lord of the Royal Garden is written in a certain tube and stuff like that. And there is something that happened there. I must see if the people will catch my drift. Behind these chariots came the charioteer with a pair of horses comparison with harness for driving, but which he led on foot out of respect of his late master. Again, brothers, another protocol on formality. Right now you can do this, but back then, when the servant is bringing the master chariot, his car, he doesn't stand an actual car. He took the horse by his bridle and he run with the horse on foot and bring it to the master as a respect. He didn't step inside of the chariot. This is out of respect. Sometimes they do if there's an emergency, but out of respect, you don't do this. But now, if you're gonna if you're doing valet parking, you'll be a massive scumbag to take the key of a Lamborghini and then go behind it and start pushing that car into the parking lot. Oh boy, you'll be a massive scumbag to do this. You got to get inside of this car and drive it. For those of you who know what a valet parking is. So anyway, then came a venerable man with the features and beard of the Hebrew. And came the face and the feature of the Hebrew race. Surprised to see one of these people anywhere, save with the implement of toil in his hand. He saw that. He saw a venerable. Define the word venerable or venerable. 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 Define that word for us, please. All right, we got one page left. That one page, then we're good. In the meantime, somebody described the word venerable. Then came a venerable man with the features and beard respected. Okay, venerable mean respected old man with the features and beard of the Hebrew race. He looked like a Hebrew, and so she says, surprised to see one of these people anywhere. That's like a black man show up in the middle of like a white bunch of rich white neighborhood. People will get shocked. What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. Venerable, according to a great deal of respect, especially because of age, wisdom of character, and all men. Great deal of respect. The only places you keep seeing those people is doing work, heavy work. Great deal of respect, especially of age and wisdom. A wise old man came in, but he looked like a Hebrew. If you don't see, he said, I'm surprised you see those people in this part of this neighborhood. You're supposed to be in that part over there shooting each other, doing drugs and all that. He said, I look, tall in his hand, or bowed down to the earth under a burden. I look more closely, and I recognize the face of the head gardener, Amrami, or Amram. Please let us know who Amram was. Or Amram, whom I had often seen in the queen's garden, and whom Remeses had taken as it were into his service, as if was his foster father. For it is no uncommon thing with the nobles to have Hebrew nurses for their infants. On the contrary, they are preferred. All praises to the Most High, YAHAWAH. The Most High is grand. All praises, brothers. All praises. Sisashi said he saw old men, a respected old man. He's a Hebrew man. It's a surprise you see those people in this part of neighborhood. When you see those guys, either they're doing heavy work or they die under some heavy burden. And he saw this guy. He quickly recognized him. He recognized him as Amiram or Amram, which which Remeses keep closer to him as a foster father. He said, this is very common, brothers and sisters, that the nobles, the plantation masters, they like to have Hebrew nurses their children. They know the black mother is the best of the best. The milk that come out of the Hebrew women is the purest of the pure. The love that come out of our women is the highest of the high, the purest of the pure. And frankly, they don't have the time to taking care of their own children. To hell with them. They will leave them to the Hebrew nurses. They have the time. They have the time to party. They have the time to go in banquet festival, gala. Our women are the one who raised their children. That's what they preferred. The women back then, as today, know for a fact if they keep breastfeeding this child, this kid going to suck up their beauty. This kid going to, again, I know people gonna come after my ass because I said the word kid. Oh, why are you referring our children as little goats? You know damn well what I'm saying, man. Those kids, again, we have to speak subtle, brother. We have to speak in a parable. Those kids will suck up the mother's beauty, the mother's strength. They don't want that. They want to stay young. They want to stay party. They're gonna be out there. They're going to do whatever they have to do to give that cookie all over the town, but leave those kids with those Hebrew women to feed them. That is why when Princess Amensi found little Moses floating in the ark in the river, which is very symbolic. When he took little Moses, Miriam was there. Miriam was a handmaiden. She was one of those little Hebrew women that was in the palace playing with the princess. Kids don't know this. Kids don't really know the difference. Put a bunch of kids together, give them toys, they will play. Once they start growing up, they will know the difference between them and those people over there. Miriam went to Amensi and told Amensi, why don't you hire one of those Hebrew women to feed this little boy and keep it as your son? Let me go ahead and go get a Hebrew nurse. And Miriam went in secret and get her own mother, Moses' mother, to come back and breastfeeding Moses. And the Mosai give Moses' father a job as being the head gardener in the palace to always keep an eyes on Moses, give Moses advices, make sure he do the right thing. Great is our God, brothers. How great is the Mosai? How great? How great, brothers and sisters. We serve a beautiful and masterful God. This was all of the Mosai, man. Let us move in. All right, we got one page, and then we're done. When Remeses was an infant, it seems, therefore, that the wife of this fine looking old Hebrew was his foster mother. Bing! Brethren, for those of you there, the reason why you understand this, you have the Holy Spirit in the midst of you. You have a portion of the Most High embedded in your soul. You understand what's going on here. It says, when Remeses was an infant, it seems, therefore, that the wife of this fine-looking old Hebrew was his foster mother or nurse. I have before spoken of the striking resemblance he bears to Remeses, where he his father, if I may so speak of a prince in connection with a slave, there could not be a much great likeness. Take Moses, put Amram, you can tell the difference. A stranger see the resemblance of Moses and his father, he made the connection of Moses' father and mother, but Moses could not make this connection because the Most High did not want him at that time. Well, hopefully I'm right because I haven't finished up the whole book. Hopefully all my stuff all right. Spitting image, brothers. But Moses could never see that. He was too blind. This venerable man, who must be full 70 years of age, bore in his hand a bunch of flowers, and verted and trailing and token his Lord was no more. Excuse me. Because Amram master died. He was followed by not less than 50 under gardeners, 4 or 5 of whom had Hebrew lineaments, but the rest were Egyptian and Persians. The latter celebrate for the culture of flowers, which are the lavishly used here in all the ceremony of society and rites of religion. So Amram master died. They were in a funeral, and Sesostris saw that. After them follow 4 men, each bearing aloft a vase of gold upon a sort of canopy with offering. God damn it, man. They were Egyptian stuff way too much here, man. All right, let me go very fast. Then comes a large one chest borne by a priest containing the money left for the temple by the deceased. Then in the successions of who bore his arm, another putting whole silver, another is fourth. A fourth is signet, jewelers, collars, necklace, display upon. That was a bunch of crap, man. There's so many things going on for a freaking funeral, man. All right. A fifth, another insignia. Everybody's carrying something, and that guy is describing everything. Brothers, he said, Mom, listen, I know you like description and stuff, and you're always complaining when I'm not describing stuff. So he's describing every single thing those people were carrying in this funeral. Had been entrusted with the supervision of all the royal gardens and the Memphite kingdom. Now came 4 trumpeters and a cymbals, damn it, musician, performing martial air and voice of men mingle called the hymn of heroes. Now, when that person died, they have to come and sing a hymn of heroes and stuff like with trumpets. Oh boy. Now, this is where it gets interesting, brothers. Next appeared a decorated barge of Baris, a small sacred boat carried by 6 men, whom I saw elevate the view to a mysterious eye of Osiris, while others carrying a tray of blue image representing the deceased under the form of that god. Also the sacred bird emblematic of the soul, following, whereas there are 12 men bearing upon yokes balanced across the shoulders, basket and case filled with flowers and crystal bottles of libation. A lot of booze for you alcoholics out there, man. That was the time to be living on. You guys would be in funeral all over. Where are you, honey? At the funeral. Why are you going to the next funeral? So many booze. So many stuff. Next, were a large company of hired females with fillets upon their brows, beating their bare breasts and throwing dust upon their heads, now lamenting the dead, now praising his virtue. Can somebody tell me who are those females, what they call them? Those large company of hired females with fillets upon their brows, beating their bare breasts and throwing dust upon their head. A bunch of women. Really? Nobody? Wow, I've been screaming about those people for the four of our past. All right. There you go. I heard mourners, the mourners. Okay, the proper name were hired mourners, paid mourners. Those were the people. Those are women you paid. Again, brothers, like I said before, those are the women that you paid to come and cry and mourn your people. Because somehow the more mourners you have make the funeral look better. People are like, wow, that guy he was beloved by so much people. Look at those bunch of those women they hired to mourn for him. Wow. That's a scumbag stuff to do. And then those women, they were walking around with bare breasts. Yeah, they were beating their breasts like, well, I won't beating my own men boobs, but they were beating their breasts and then screaming, and put dust in their head, wall over the floor, and do that. Then again, Big Levi say this, brothers, for the you scumbag watching out there, if you're gonna make an app hiring people to go to funeral and cry, hiring people to go to wedding and clap, hiring people to go to an event and say, yeah, 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 that's my idea. You scumbag will give me 50% of that profit, no tax. Well, the IRS know where I live, but you'll pay the tax. I won't pay it. I pay my tax though, if you want to know. But anyway, then came the official, and you know what? I'm gonna stop right here, man. There's so many stuff in here for a freaking funeral. I'm not gonna go into all of this thing, man. Page 177, brothers and sisters. There's way too many stuff. Then came the I'm gonna have to read this. Then came the officiating priest, his sacred leopard skin cast over his shoulder, bearing his hand the censer and vast of libation, and accompanied by his attendant holding the various implement requiring of the occasion. Good Lord, behind this priest came a car, not like a real car, brothers. When they came a car like the chariot, without wheels, drawn by 4 oxen, white oxen, and 7 men yoked to it. Oh boy! Now you got like oxen, four bull or cows pulling this thing, and then you got like 7 men with the yoke throwing this thing. Oh boy! While beside them walking a chief officer who regular the movement of procession. Oh boy! Finally, the male relative of the dead and his friends and his honor, the queen, grand chamberlain, and the master of the house, marched together in silence and with solemn steps, leaning on their long stake. Other men follow, whose rich dresses and long walking canes, which are the particular mark of Egyptian gentlemen. So the Egyptian gentlemen walk around with canes. Oh boy. A little in the rear of this walk, a young man would drop a lotus flower from basket every few steps and close the long process. Now, I don't know how to put this. You see, when you go to a wedding, brothers, and you see those little girls, dropping flowers, and then people are walking this. The Egyptian did this for their dead. Which some people say a wedding is just a funeral with cake. I heard somebody say this somewhere. I forgot who said this. But in funeral, brothers, you got a little boy dropping flowers. You see that movie Coming to America one, and that was a custom, people dropping flower for the prince to walk on flowers. But there was a little boys doing this in funeral. People do this in wedding. And no country but this where rain. So you know what, that's it, man. We stop here, brothers, in page 178, and then tomorrow, if the Most High willing, we'll get to letter 15. All praises to the Most High. There's so much crap going on in that funeral, man. That'll be a massive pain, man. To have a funeral for somebody, you gotta hired mourners, a bunch of people. Oh, all praises to the Most High, man. All praises, all praises. Forgive me, brothers and sisters. Sometimes I get carried away. All praises to the Most High. We learn a little stuff right here. Hopefully, the people learn certain things that we were talking about. A lot of things. It's just like you really have to read those things and to understand what was going on, what was going on back then. It's no difference than now, brothers. It's no difference. Okay. A lot of stuff happened. For instance, the funeral, or for instance, the first thing we met, the Mosiah prophesies to Remeses that he will never get there. He will never be the Pharaoh. Okay? One scumbag that was selling images of the bull, one of those jackasses that was out there, the moment Moses came out of the temple, he said he will never get there. That was the sign. So we understand the Mosai do this, but the Mosai like to have fun. He like to do things to people, and he would like to make things, and then he make those things do stuff, and then just to to get a kick out of it. And we learn about the Egyptians of funeral, and then those people have party for everything, just like now, brothers. Yeah, just like now. Just like now. Well, not now because of the whole plague that is out there, the plague that people have to wear masks. But remember, when the Gentile had the former glory, they used to party a lot. Everywhere you go, there's a gala. Everywhere you go, there's a festival. Everywhere you go, there's a party, and then scumbags there drinking, and everywhere you go, something was happening. But right now, because of the whole things that the Most High is doing to them, they can't do that anymore. They will never do. Brothers, I don't want to be this guy. I don't know the Most High plan. I wish I do know, but I have an idea of what the Most High is going to do. And I know all of you, brethren, you do know for a fact that the Gentiles had it the best. They had it better than you. They had it better than anybody that you could possibly imagine. But what we're gonna have is gonna be 100 million times better than what they have. So I don't have any imagination to tell you what we are going to have, but the most I say our reward is great. Okay, yes. Thank you, brothers. Those reading or giving information, confirmation left and right. We see a bunch of stuff that happen and they are confirming in here. Again, brothers, the reason we are able to do this is because the Most High allowed us to confirm this. He allowed us to see this because we have a part of the Holy Spirit in us. People thinking like, having the Holy Spirit, you have to roll over and then spitting foam out of your mouth and then do certain stuff, speaking in tongue. That's not what that is. That's not what that is. And the Holy Spirit can stay upon you the moment you're born until you die, just like John the Baptist, just like Saul. Well, nope, Saul, they got the Holy Spirit got snatched snuff out of Saul to David. Okay, so until David started messing around and the Holy Spirit keep leaving him, and then went to Solomon. Solomon has the Holy Spirit until he sacrificed unto another God. He took two little crickets. Now, brothers, you understand when Solomon was trying to marry this woman, so to speak, and then he told the woman, "Oh man, the man already had like 1,000 wife, 900 concubine. He want that last woman." Because he learned it from the father David. So when Solomon met this woman, the woman told Solomon, "Look, I'm fine. You can gain access to the bakery and eat whatever you want, pies, muffin, cookies, and everything. However, before we get involved in this, you have to sacrifice unto my God." And Solomon said, "No, I do not sacrifice to no God except for my father." And she said, "It doesn't have to be a big sacrifice. I'm not asking you to kill a bull. I'm not asking you to kill a goat. I'm asking you is to take those two little crickets and sacrifice them unto my God." And Solomon want to eat that cookie, man. He was a cookie monster, just like his father David. And then Solomon take those two little crickets and he said it in his heart. I sacrificed those two little crickets to this god or Baal or whatever, and then he crushed them. The moment he did this, brothers, the Holy Spirit left him right then and there. That's when he turned around, he looked at that woman, and the woman see nothing but a corpse. Solomon died, just like Saul. When the woman looked upon the face of Solomon, she saw nothing but a face of a dead man. Remember when Saul was being tormented and he was sleeping with his hand in his face? He was sleeping on the couch with his hand on his face. He stayed like that for days, at least a month, sleeping like that, crying. He never want to get out. And when Abbasis went in there, Abbasis pulled his hand down and looked upon Saul's face. Abbasis says, this look that he saw will haunt him until he died. He saw the face of a dead man, a man that been dead for years, a walking dead zombie. That's what will happen to you if you let the Messiah, well, not if you let the Messiah, if you let yourself go, the Messiah will snatch the spirit from you. Look at Saul. Saul's face was like a dead person that been dead for days. And then he put his hand back covering his face. Don't mess with the Messiah, man. He will snatch the Holy Spirit from you, man. Yep. So, brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike, thank you for being here. It is good to be here. It is still good to be here. We don't know what the Messiah is going to do tomorrow. All we can do, brothers, is to pray and do everything in righteousness so the Messiah won't snatch the Holy Spirit from you. Okay? Because if you do anything, you go back in one of those church and you uncover your heart in front of those guys because you want to get down with this chick. She doesn't want to get down with you because you're not a Christian. You were a Christian. As long as I was, I can always will be. The moment I get, taste that cookie, I'm back to the Messiah. I can guarantee you, the moment you do this, you'll become a lunatic. That's why some brothers, some sisters want the truth, and then couple months later, you see them, they were lunatics. The Messiah took the Holy Spirit from them. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Tomorrow we're going to study lesson 15 and things like that. We'll do the best we can. This book is over 440 pages. We're on 170 pages. And once we're done, the Most High will let us go to Most High. We already made the petition for the Father to let us go in the book of Joshua, but we don't know yet. We don't know. The Most High probably gonna move us to another book. So we make the petition. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for being here. All right, thank you so much. Be at peace. Stay at peace. Peace be upon you. There'll be no Jacob's trouble. This is Esau's trouble and the Gentiles' tribulation. Brother, I want you to meditate while you go to sleep. Meditate on the sum of those things that the Most High do. He's predestined. Well, the Most High's will. Ask the Most High, how can you please Him? How can you be a better servant? Ask the Holy Spirit to teach you. Not out of books made out of man. She will teach you, brothers. She will just beam things. And when I say things beam into my mind, your true mind is here. Your true mind is in your heart. They'll beam things into your true mind, just like he did to Moses. Well, Remeses, anyway. We don't even know if Remeses is truly Moses. You know. Brethren, predestined. Yes, predestined. Talk to the Messiah. He's your father. Don't be afraid, brothers. Tell the Messiah everything. Tell the Messiah, I have rage. I am angry. I hate this person. I like doing wicked stuff. Why? Why am I like that? Father, help me. I don't like doing those wicked stuff. I'm in this truth. Why I don't? Well, I'm not in this truth. I want to do wicked stuff. I want to change. I want to surrender my life unto you. Are you refusing me as your daughter? Are you refusing me as your son? I want to be a part of your team. Have mercy upon me. Come to the Messiah with a broken spirit, a broken heart, a contrite heart. He will be happy to open his arm and get you. That is for you that are not in the truth. By the power of the Most High vested in me, brethren, I'm leaving all of you in peace. Be at peace. And I will see you tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time. We need more soldiers, brothers, to pray. Now we got an increase of people, brothers. We got an increase of brethren. We got an increase of soldiers. Every time we are praying, I see more than 200, 300 people praying with us. This is good. The most I love that. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Let me leave you folks with a little music.